Hey, also, you want to design a Photoshop flyer and you don't want it to look too much like a Canva template. That's what we're going to be doing today. So I kind of just came up with this flyer design real quick, something really simple. And by the end, you'll have something worth posting, and you'll also learn the Photoshop basics without even realizing it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started and set your document up. So this is going to be a social media size document. So I'm just going to go up here and hit new. On your side, when you first open Photoshop, you'll probably be on this screen. So you can just hit new file. And then right here, this is the window where you're going to be setting up your document size. Okay, so don't get intimidated by everything over here. Don't look at anything on this side, only look over here. Okay, so I'm going to hit this part first. This is going to change your unit of measurement. Make sure you change that part first. Okay, anyways, it's important clearly. So change it to pixels. I'm going to put this 1080 and then 1350. So you know, whenever you're on Instagram and you see like something on your timeline but it's like a bit taller, so I'm not saying a story post, but like the portrait post, that's what size this is, in case you didn't know. So yeah, 1080 by 1350 pixels. For resolution, I'm just going to put 72. Now if you're making a design and you don't plan on having it on anything but phones and computers, tablets, screens, then you want to have it at 72. Now if you plan on printing it out, I would say either put it at 150 or 300, but that's a whole other conversation. So I would just say for now 72. And this is just like telling you like how many pixels per inch you'll see in real life, like how many pixels on your computer screen will convert over to inches in real life. Anyway, so we're not going to get all into the details and stuff. So here's your canvas right here. I'm just going to go up here to make sure that our screens are matching 100%. So let's go up here to where it says window, hover right here where it says workspace, and then hit essentials, and then go up here, go back to workspace, and then hit reset essentials. Okay, now both of our screens should be matching. Okay, so but if this is your first time in Photoshop, I don't want you to feel intimidated. If you ever use something like Microsoft Paint or Canva or something like that, maybe even Instagram stories, it's kind of the same thing. You have like all these tools over here on the left side. Obviously they're a lot more advanced, but yeah, all these tools have things within them. Like if I have my brush tool here, I can click and hold it down, then I'll see another menu to show a pencil and things like that. For the circle over here, if I click and hold that down, you'll see other shapes. So there's like buttons within buttons. All up here, you have these other different features up here. They can control anything from color, something being blurry, pixelated, selecting something, all that stuff. So I don't want you guys to feel intimidated by that, but that's just showing you how powerful Photoshop is. Okay, so I don't want to get too detailed, so let's just jump right into it. So just to make it easy for you, hover right here where it says properties, click and hold that down, and then drag it over here. Hover right here until you see a blue line, then let it go. I like to do that because your properties panel, this helps you to understand like what is what. Like if you have a circle selected, it'll tell you what the color of the circle is, if it has an outline on it. Maybe if you have some text on the screen, you can pick your fonts on this side. So I just like to be able to see this whole thing. Now this libraries part, I don't need that. I like to just click and drag it out and just hit X. I X this one out too, and I like to hover right here, and then I'll click and drag up, so that way I can see all of my layers panel, because it's really important for me to see all that. Okay, so on my screen, I'm gonna go ahead and actually get this. I'm just gonna put it on another window just so that way I can see it. Okay, all right, so what I want you guys to understand is all this stuff is just drag and drop. Okay, so go ahead and get whatever images you want. So I got some images of Kaylani here. I highly recommend that you get some high quality images. So when I got mine, I went to Google, typed in Kaylani photo shoot, and let me actually show you. I'm just explaining it to you. Let me actually show you. So if I go over here and type in Kaylani, and I was looking for a specific one actually, but I'm just gonna put photo shoot. Actually, let me put bustle photo shoot. I'll go to images, and you might think, okay, I can just get this one, and then I can just right click it, hit copy, and then paste it in Photoshop. But hold on, this image is blurry. Pay attention, okay? You don't want to get a blurry image. So I was trying to find the source of this. I ended up finding it, but in your case, I don't want to get too complicated with it. You can just type in Kaylani photo shoot. I highly recommend going to where it says tools, size, and then large. and this will show you the larger images. It doesn't mean that they're all going to be super high quality. It's still showing me this low quality one here. Sometimes you can scroll through and see the more you can see more photos that are related to whatever it is that you're looking at. So but finding high quality photos is definitely a part of the process, so do not sleep on that, because when you have a blurry image, that gives it away that you're an amateur designer and we're trying to finesse it. Okay, we're trying to look like we're one of them guys. Okay, so I would just say go through, get your favorite music artist or whatever that you can practice with, and then get that and make sure it's high quality. Okay, so once you have your image, let's say you want to use this one, you want to right click it and then hit save image as, and then whatever folder you want to put it in, just go ahead and hit save and then save it to that folder. Okay, so once you go ahead and get your image, I'm just going to X this out. So yeah, I ended up getting all of these. So if you want to use some of these, you can just go and type in her name and put photo shoot, or you can type in NME or put bustle, and then you can just find one of these. So I ended up using this one right here. So how this works in Photoshop is you just want to get the image on your computer and you just want to drag and drop it over here, just like this. Okay, so then I'll just hit done and then you'll be good. Now something else I want to talk about too is the move tool. So the move tool is right here. So it's the very first tool. If you want to be able to enable it a lot quicker, like maybe you're on something else and you don't want to drag your mouse all the way over here, you can just hit V as in Victor. Okay, and if you forget that, if you just hover on top of it, you'll see where it says move tool right here, and then you'll see the letter V. So this is just telling you what the keyboard shortcut is. So you can hit V right there. And then you can see I have my layer of Kaylani here, and then I have my white background here. So what you could do is just get this and just stretch it up, just so that way it fits the top and the bottom. Now if you look at my example, I actually did not do that. And I wanted to show you something probably a little bit more advanced. But notice how there's a lot more room at the bottom on mine, but on this one it's not. So let's actually do that, okay? So it's supposed to be for beginners, but I guess I'm doing something a little advanced, but it's okay, it's okay. So I'm gonna get this image. I want it to be about like right here or so. Maybe even about over here. Put it where you want to put it, okay? Just put it where you want to put it. So I'm gonna put mine about right there. So now that I have this, I am going to make a new layer. So you want to click on this little square with the plus sign on it. And now I'm on this layer. You can see that it's highlighted. So now you want to go up to where it says edit. Oh wait, I'm lying, my bad. Go right here. Click on this tool. If you don't see that, then just click and hold it down, and then you'll see where it says rectangular marquee tool. If you still don't see that tool, then just hit M as in marbles on the keyboard, and then when you see it, just click and hold it down, and then you can get the rectangular marquee tool. So when you get that, what you want to do is click and then select. You're not going to stop right here on this line. You want to go a little bit over. Okay, so let's do that. Go up to where it says edit, go down to content aware fill. Now all this is doing is telling Photoshop, hey, I want you to sample from these parts of the image and then replicate it for me. Okay, so this is like where it does it automatically, but sometimes it's not the best. Like you can see right here how it selected her shoe, or it selected I think it got everything else pretty right. It cropped her out pretty well. But for example, if I didn't want to have her shoe in here, then I can just make my brush size a little bit smaller and then just kind of like paint right here on her shoe, just so that way you won't see it in the final results. And you can see right here on this side, this is how it would look, and I think that looks flawless. Okay, so I'm going to hit apply, and then I'm going to hit OK, and then you'll see it made a new layer right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit deselect, and you can see how this layer right here is that piece of floor, you know, by itself. Okay, all right, so I like to just go ahead and merge those two together, and even though we made this separate layer here, it's still empty. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. So you can just either hit the trash can or just hit delete on the keyboard for that empty layer. But I'm going to select this one. I'm going to just click it one time. Hold down the control button on your keyboard, or command if you're on a Mac. And then click on this one, and then you can let go of the keyboard. So that's how you select two layers at the same time. Okay, so once you have that, you want to right click on one of them, and then you can hit convert to smart object, and now those two are merged together. So there we go. So now everything is all attached. Okay, if you want to know how to undo something, just hit Control Z as in zebra, So if I hold down control then hit Z a few times, it'll keep going back and doing past steps that I did, right? So yeah. And then if you hold down control shift Z, then it'll go forward. So one is undo, one is redo, and if you forget, it's right here. Undo is control Z. Undo is control Z, and then redo is shift control Z. All right, so let's get into it, okay? So I really just need to add a bunch of text on here. Okay, so if I go back and look at my reference image, this is really nothing but text. I did nothing to the photo other than extending the bottom. So let's just add a whole bunch of text on here. Okay, so let me see if I can have this to be floating right here, just so that way I can see it as a reference. I don't know if it's gonna let me because I have it set up kind of weird. Okay, so I just gotta make sure I'm over here. All right, so I'm going to get my text tool. So hit T as in Tango on the keyboard, or you can just hit the little T icon there. So you want to pay attention first before you do it. Click, and I'm holding down my mouse, drag out a text box like this, okay? There's already gonna be filler text in here. Filler text is just Latin text that it'll just like throw in there for you, just to have like example text in there, okay? So you don't need it. I get a lot of times where people, they'll like click and select all the text and then they'll hit backspace and they'll do it again and they'll do it again. I'm like, bro, calm down. I got a faster way. Hold down control on the keyboard, then hit A as an apple, and then you can just hit backspace. Now it gets rid of everything in that entire text box. Okay, so first I'm going to put model in here. So I did mine in all caps, and I actually put model in one text box and I put bootcamp in another text box. So so you can do that however you want to, but I prefer to separate them because it gives you more control. So I have this here. So you want to go in there, make sure you just type in model. Okay. I am going to make sure I have all this selected. Now, if you look up here, this is going to show you how you can align it in different ways. Right now, mine is currently left aligned, but I want it to be center aligned. So I'm going to click on the center one. My text box is huge. It doesn't even need to be that big. So I'm just going to click and drag it up like this. And I can drag this one over. I don't want to like put it right up on it like this. I'm just going to still have a little bit of breathing room around it. Okay. Now in your case, if you are seeing it and you're like, dang, I know that I typed in all the letters, how come I don't see them? Just click and drag out your text box to make it a lot bigger. You might even need to do this to be able to see it. Okay. So yeah, so once you have that there, go ahead and hit the check mark. And some people, they like to go in here and just keep like changing this number to change the size, but that takes a little minute. So what I recommend is getting your move tool, and you can get this and then just click and drag it like this. Now if you don't see these blue like lines around your text with the white squares, then what you can do is hold down control and then hit T as in Tango, and then you should see them pop up. Okay, now on my end, the reason why I always see them is because if I'm on the move tool, if I look right here where it says show transform controls, if you want that box, if you have that box checked, then you'll always see the blue outline when something is selected. So I highly recommend selecting that. Okay. All right, so we have this here. You can choose whatever font you want to. For mine, I used Acumen Pro, but I used the one called Black, I believe, or Black Italic. Maybe I used the wide one instead. Let me see. Black wide italic. I don't know what I used. I can't remember. Girl, what did you use? Hold on. Acumen Pro Ultra Black Italic. Okay, because I was like, what did I use? Okay, Ultra Black Italic. Acumen Ultra. Girl, if you don't Acumen, it be tripping. Acumen Ultra Black Italic. There we go. So I have this one here. Now you might want to go back and get your text tool and click and drag and make all these text boxes, but who got time? Just copy and paste them. Okay. So once you get this one all situated, and you can just resize it, put it how you want it to be, and you can always change it later. So don't panic about it. You can just get this one and duplicate it. Now there are like 4 ways to duplicate something in here. As a beginner, I would say if you have this box here, hold down Control or Command and hit C, and that's how you copy. and then hold down Control and then hit V as in Victor. So once you hit V, then it'll paste it, and then you can double click that and then type what you need to. Okay, now if you want to be a little bit advanced, the way that I like to duplicate stuff is if I already have something selected like this, I'll hold down the Alt key, A-L-T. I'll hold that key down and I'll just look at the screen, and you'll see how there's this black and white cursor on the screen now. And if I let go of Alt, then that'll disappear. But when you hold it down, that's Photoshop telling you, hey, I'm ready to duplicate something. So if you have the Alt key held down, then you click and drag this and then let go of the mouse and then the keyboard, then you'll see it duplicate. So that's my favorite way because it's so quick and easy. All right, so I'm going to type in Bootcamp. So I typed in all the letters, but I don't see them all, so I need to make this a bit wider. Okay, now I'm going to hit the check mark. I'm just going to get this and put it here. All right. Sometimes you might try to select it and it'll like do this. Just hit the check mark and then just, you know, keep it moving. Okay. Now, in this case, you might try to sit here and keep trying to move this, but it might keep snapping into place. If you zoom in, which is, you can hold down Control and then hit the plus sign. If you zoom in, you'll see how you can move this in smaller increments now. Because before it was like snapping and just jumping into place, but the more you zoom in, then you're able to move it in just smaller increments now. Okay, so I have that there. So for this top part, it says One Music Fest Presents. So literally all this is we're just putting a bunch of text. So I'm going to type One Music Fest Presents. So I know all the text is in there, but I'm going to hold down Control, then hit A. So all the text is selected. Now I'm going to come right here. Let me show you a trick. You can divide this by a certain number and then it'll like make it smaller. So I don't know if this is going to be the right thing. I just like to do this just to kind of play around when I'm like bored in Photoshop. I'm going to hit the slash for division and I'm going to hit 3 and I'll hit enter. And it does that. Now, is that as small as I want it to be? No. So sometimes I'll just do that. But I'm just going to hold my cursor. I'm going to click right there one time, hold down shift, and then just go down a couple of times. Now, I don't want this to be bold either. So I think I used the font. I'm just going to put Acumen. It was condensed light, I believe. Yeah, so Acumen Pro Condensed Light is what I use. And all these fonts that I'm using, these are Adobe fonts. So you can find them through Adobe. Okay, so again, I don't need this big old text box. So I'm just going to go in here and shrink it. So something else I also did was I didn't just throw the text here. I have a lot of spacing in between. Now, you might think you want to go on there and hit spacebar a couple times and then do it for each letter. You got time for that. Okay, so what you want to do is just have this here. Make sure your text box is wide enough. Okay, so if you have your text box selected, you want to go over here into your properties panel. Now, you might not see this. Actually, yeah, you will. If you look at right here where it says VA, you want to click inside of here one time like this, so you'll see the cursor flashing, and you want to increase the number. I'm just hitting the up arrow key on the keyboard. And this is faster to me instead of typing in numbers and doing trial and error. Okay, so I just did this. There's no set number that you gotta have. It's just that I'm trying to teach you a bunch of different, methods of having variety in your flyers. Okay, so I'll try to be a little bit extra with mine. So what I did was, I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm just going to type in TM in here. Zoom out a little bit, bring this closer. So I just put TM for like the trademark, like symbol. So I got that, and I'm just going to bring this down to 0 just to bring the letters closer together. Then I'm just going to shrink this, and it's such a small detail. No one's even looking at this, but I'm just trying to be a little extra. I'm just going to put mine right there. Can't nobody see that, but it looks clean though. Okay, so I got that part right there. Ooh, we haven't been saving this entire time. Okay, learning practice 2. Why y'all ain't saying nothing? Make sure you're saving your document, okay? Please. All right, so we got that there. I want to kind of get mine and move it over just a little bit. So I'm just gonna move it this way, move this one this way. Make sure your text is not super close together. That also gives away that you're an amateur designer too. Okay, give it some room to breathe in between. All right, I'm gonna get these two, and sometimes to move things at the same time, I'll just, like I said earlier, select one thing, hold down Control, hit the other thing, and then I'll just move them both at the same time. Okay, so I think this is pretty decent. And if it's not perfectly centered, just eyeball it as best you can, or just let these kind of snap into place. Since this is your first time doing it, I don't want you to stress out over it, you know, or at least I think it's your first time doing it. I don't know. Okay, so I think this part looks good. As you work, make sure you keep hitting save. Now let's work on this little like bar thing that says for fashion. So I'm going to come right here, get a rectangle, click and drag it out like this. Okay, now once you have that there, if you look over here in your properties panel, you want to look at the word fill, and next to it you'll see a rectangle with a color on it. So I don't know what color yours is, but I want to make sure that mine is white. So if you click here and then click on the little rainbow, you want to click and drag the circle to the very top and to the very left. Okay, so when you do that, you'll see that this little pound sign right here next to it, you'll just see F's straight across. So every color has its own code, and it's called a hex code in this case. And if I was to hit like right here, then you'll see this means this shade of teal, this means this shade of green, you know, but pure white is 6 F's all the way across. Okay, so I'm gonna hit OK right there, just to make sure that that was pure white. So I'll get this. You can make this whatever width you want it to be, height, whatever. And if you hover right here on the edges, you'll see this icon. It has 2 arrows with a curved line in between them. That's letting you know that it's ready to rotate the shape. So if I click and hold down my mouse and rotate it slightly, like so, you'll be able to drag it to rotate it just a little bit. Hit the check mark, and I can just bring this up here, and it'll allow you to overlap with this. So just in case yours is not overlapping, look over here in your layers panel. So it's called layers for a reason. You can put something above something else or behind something. So if you look over here at the rectangle, if I was to get this and click and drag it under Bootcamp, notice how now where it says Bootcamp, you can see how the CAM is in front of this rectangle, but I don't want that. So I want to get this rectangle and then drag it above Bootcamp. So above means in front of. Okay, all right, make sure I save. All right, so again, I'm just going to keep duplicating my text. So I'll just get model, duplicate that, and then it needs to say for fashion. I'm going to select all that text, and I'm just going to make it smaller. So sometimes I'll change the settings for my fonts or shapes right here in this little bar, or over here on the right, or up here at the top, but they're literally all the same thing. So don't stress out about that part either. Okay, I'm just holding down the arrow key to make this smaller. It needs to also be thinner too, so I'll just go through and I love this font, Acumen Pro, because it just has so many different variations in it. So all the variants here, it's just like the basic ones. This one, it has all the letters to be like more condensed. So yeah, it just depends on what it is that you want to do. So I just chose this one. If you want to separate the letters and have that spacing in between them, you learned that part already. Just increase this number. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. Decrease the size. Now I already, hold on, this got to be in front. Bring it in front of the rectangle. There we go. So we already rotated the rectangle, so you got to rotate your text too. So you just want to try to make it match up with the rectangle as much as possible. And I should have lined them up initially and then rotated them together, but I didn't think about it, so I'm so sorry. Okay, so I think this is good. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Rotate it just a little bit. I think I might want mine to be a bit bolder. So right now it's on semi-bold. Let me do fully bold. That did nothing. I'll go about like this size right here. Okay. All right, so I think that looks good. All right, cool. So this is a small detail, but you see how my edges of my rectangle are just sharp? You can round them a little bit if you want to. So let's go back and select our rectangle. And you should see these little circles here on the edges. So you can like click and drag them inwards. And if I drag them all the way inwards, it'll be curved like this. But if you click and drag them outwards, it'll put it back to normal. Hold on. Oh, it's acting up. There we go. It's kind of finicky. That's why I don't like doing it that way. But I just put mine back to normal. But if yours is kind of acting up too, then what you can do is make sure you still have that that rectangle selected. And if you look right here under where it says appearance, then you'll see these like 4 like rectangles, and you'll see a bunch of zeros. Make sure that this chain link is selected, and you want to click on one or click inside of one of the number boxes, and you can increase it. I'm going to put mine at about, let's try 5, and then I'll hit enter, and then it'll change for all of them. Now you can't really see it because it's selected and you have all these blue lines on it, but just click on a different layer, like right here or something, and now you can see it clearly. So that looks pretty good in my opinion. So if you want to go in there and make it not curved or make it more curved, then that's up to you. Okay. All right, so that part looks good. What else we got? Kaylani. What else we got? Girl. Okay, so now we have this paragraph right here. So I am just going to, oh, also, if you want to pan across the page like I'm doing like this, hold down the space bar and then just click and drag across the page. Okay, so that's what I like to do because it's a lot to keep trying to scroll with the mouse. So, but yeah. All right, so in this case, I'm going to actually get the text box and click and drag it out like this. Okay, so this font that I already have here is a bit too thin. So I'm going to select all of it. So I'm just doing Control A, and I'm going to change my font. Let's see, let's try regular, just Acumen Pro. And actually mine is in all caps. I don't want that. So if you see where it says type options, you want to open that up. And I'm just going to hit this. But if you want it to be in all caps, but you don't want to delete it and then go through and hit the caps lock and retype it, then you can hit this little double T thing right here, the double capital T. But I don't want that on. I was just showing you what it is. Okay, so I'm going to select all of this. Let me go back into Acumen Pro. Let's see how medium looks. I think medium is decent. Okay, so the text that I added, it says spend a 1-hour session with singer and model Kaylani to sharpen your skills. Wait, to sharpen your confidence, elevate your posing skills, and break into the world of modeling for fashion purposes. Dang. All right, so I want mine to look just like how I did it here. So you can resize the width or the height of your text box to kind of push and pull the text in different directions, or just to make it lay out differently. That's what I mean. So if you look at this one in my reference, it says spend a 1-hour session with singer and. So if I get this and push it over to the left, now you see my top line only has those words. Now the next one, I see confidence is the next line, so I'm good there. Break into. Now I want the word the on the next line, so I'm just gonna push it like this into, and then purposes. So I think this looks pretty good. Okay, so I have that part there. I'll hit the check mark, go back and use my move tool just to put it where I want it to be. So you can either put it here if you want to, there, just eyeball it, whatever looks good, just put it there. Okay, I think mine is pretty decent right here. All right, make sure you're saving your file. All right, so I also added this thing that says instructed by Kaylani. So I'm going to just duplicate this, and I'm just going to add instructed by. So I used a different font in my reference image. I used a condensed font. So I used the Acumen Pro Condense. So I'm gonna click that, and it needs to be a little bit more bold. So that looks pretty good there. Look at this. Instructed by can go right there. And then I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to type her name. So in this one, I didn't use that condensed font. I just used like the regular Acumen Pro, I believe. And I just made it just a little bit bold, I want to say. I think it's italicized. Yeah, it is. Let's do semi-bold italic. That looks right. That looks rad. All right. So, and then this shape right here is really just, I made another rectangle. So I'm going to get this, click and drag it this way. Just to have consistency, I want to go back and look at this white rectangle up here. And the numbers on that one, I did 5. So I'm going to make this one down here 5 as well, all across the board. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, girl, how'd you get, you know, this shape right here behind her leg? Here's a little something that I don't want you to tell anybody. It's a little secret, okay? No, I'm playing. Everybody knows this. It just, you probably don't know. So what you want to do is you got to make a copy. Hold on, I'm trying to move this. Come on, girl. Okay, so I'm going to get this. I'm just going to put it like on her leg like this. Now I'm going to get my image of her, which is down here at the bottom, and I'm going to duplicate it. So if you want to duplicate this, you can hold down the Alt key and then click and drag up and then let go. So now you see both copies. So you want to go to the topmost copy of her here, and you should have this bar right here. If you don't, then go to where it says window and then contextual taskbar. Okay, so when you, and this, all this is just that it gives you like shortcuts to certain things. So but yeah, so now for this you can just hit remove. Make sure you're on the first one, okay, this top one. Then you want to hit remove background. Okay, so you might be wondering, I can't see a difference. If you hide the back one, you'll see it. Now I didn't get it perfectly. I'm not going to worry about all this side. I just need to worry about this right side. So I'm just going to click here, and you want to get this topmost one, and you want to put that at the very top of everything. So if you were to get this layer and click and drag it to the very top of everything, hold on, you gotta click and drag it all the way to the top. Okay, now if you look at this little piece, you can see that the leg is in front of the shape. Okay, so that part is beautiful. All right, so I'm going to get my shape right here. I don't want it to be white, so I'm going to click on my fill. You can click on one of these, but if you want to be like precise, or if you're like not sure like what your color is, you can just hover over here, because if you sit here and just try to like pick the color, then it's not gonna be identical. So just hover your mouse out here and just click on something that already has the color that you want, and you'll be good. Okay, so let's see what her name is. I need her name to be white, so I'm gonna click that, make it white. I gotta bring that in front of the rectangle. The rectangle also needs to be over a bit. Well, actually, I'll put it up here. It's a little above her knee. And then I'll put her name up there. Just trying to make sure everything will be easy to read. This can be right here. We're doing good, you guys. We're doing good. Okay, so we got that part situated. Okay, so now we got to, let's work on the date part. So I'm going to get this and duplicate it. It's just so easy to duplicate stuff because like it takes 2 seconds. I'm going to type OCT for October. I'm going to select all of that. I don't want it to be italicized. You can if you want to. I just didn't for mine. I'm just going to put it in black. Oh no, I did a condensed font, I can tell. Acumen, condensed black, I think that's what I use. So let's try condensed black. I'll get that and put this up here. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna show y'all another trick. Watch this. I'm gonna type 24-25TH. I'm going to select these two. Now you might be wondering how I did that. Just click and drag like so. Okay, so once you have that, you want to look over here in your type options. Now you'll see a T and it looks like it has like an exponent. So you'll see like a 1 like up in the top. It's right here. It's right there. Okay, so you want to click on this one. It'll say superscripts. Click on that and then it'll kind of get this like an exponent vibe. Now if you look at it, notice how the TH is not align with the top of everything else, like with all the numbers and stuff. So I'm gonna go back in here. I'm gonna select just the TH. And if you look in your character section, like in your properties panel, where you can like change the settings for your font, hit these little 3 dots right here, and then you'll see this icon here, and this is called the baseline. So if you click there and then decrease this number, it'll push the numbers down. Okay, so I think about right here looks good. Okay, so I like to do that just to have it to be a lot more aligned. All right, so now I want to have October to be the same width as my numbers in the TH. So I'm thinking about like right here looks good. And if you can't like visualize it that well, if you have your rulers turned on, which are these numbers on the side and the top, if you don't have yours on, then hold down Control and hit R on the keyboard, or Command and then hit R if you're on the Mac. And if you hold your mouse right here, click and drag this way. I'm gonna just click and drag mine and let it stop on the left side of the 2. Click and drag this way, let it stop on the left side of the H. See, mine keeps jumping into place. Let me hit undo. And now let me try it again. I had to zoom in. Okay, so I like to do this, and then I will get the October text right here, and I will click and drag this over to the left. And what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the left side of the O, and I'm seeing if that's going to touch this cyan color ruler that I have right here. Okay, and now this one I'm looking for the right side of the T to touch the ruler. So that side looks good, and this side looks good. So it doesn't have to be super perfect, but as long as it pretty much looks about the same width as this, then that's really all I want. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this down about right here. If you want to get rid of the rulers, you can just hover on them and just click and drag them back where they came from. Right, save. So now I need to have my October and my numbers selected at the same time. So you remember, you want to click on one thing, hold down Control, tap the other thing, and then let go of the keyboard. And when you let go, it'll have them selected. It'll have them selected. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. All right, so you have this here. You want to get this and just shrink it and put it whatever size you want it to be. I'm going to put mine about right here. You don't want it to be too close to her head, and you don't want it to be too close to the top or the left side. So just give it some room to breathe. So I'm thinking about right there, it looks decent. It kind of feels like awkwardly placed in my opinion. So maybe about like right here, I think. I like it better in my reference image. But yeah, but you get the idea. Okay. All right, so we got that part. We're almost done, y'all. We got to make these squares at the bottom. So what you want to do is go and actually let's do this rectangle at the very bottom first. So let's click and drag that out here. Okay, and yes, mine is bigger than, like I went past the boundaries, but it's okay. So you have that there. Click on the fill. I'm gonna click here, and I want to make sure I get the same exact dark teal color. Okay, so I got that there. I'm gonna get me some text. I'm gonna get her name. I'm gonna duplicate that. Make sure it's in front of this bar here. Okay. I'm gonna make this text box wider. All right. Oh, also you can hit this to center it. Side note. I'm gonna double click here and just type in what I put. So I just did register today at www.kaylani.com/model. I just tried to like make it relevant to whatever it is that we were designing. So now in my design, I selected all of this and I made it bolded. So right now it's semi-bold italic, and I'm going to click here, hold down shift, and then click this way, or you can just click and drag that way, because I just want my call to action, which is the thing that you're telling someone to do, register today at, that's the call to action. I want that to stand apart from the actual website. So I'm going to maybe make this a little bit thinner and not italicized. Maybe something like this, or hold on. Let's try bold italic. I think that works. Now, currently my text is too close to the very bottom, so I'm gonna just bring it up a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe about like right here. So that means I gotta bring up my bar here, so I'll just click and drag that up. I think about there, looks pretty good. Make sure I save it. Now the last thing we gotta do is make these boxes. So really you just need to make one and then duplicate it. Okay? So let me show you how I did that part. I'm just gonna get a square, rectangle, same thing. Alright, I'm just going to click and drag this like so. Okay, and that's the right color, thankfully. Okay, so I have that there. I'm going to actually duplicate this. I'm gonna make this one white. So I wanna make one of my squares first, and then I'll duplicate that to make the other one. I don't wanna make them both at the same time. So I'm just gonna get this. So you might have a weird issue, and I should have mentioned this earlier, I'm sorry, but you might have a weird issue when it comes to resizing your squares. So for example, I got this and I duplicated it. I'm making it white because I want to make it this little tab thing that I did. So you might have an issue where you're trying to resize it, but it's doing this and it's not like making it shorter like this. It's because you got to hold down the shift key. So maybe yours is working right, then you're good. But in some people's cases, you might have a different setting turned on. Like it's really this that's controlling it. It's controlling the proportions. But if you hold down shift, then you can do this and then it'll fix it. But you may not need to do it. Just depends on what your settings are on your computer. Okay, same thing with going horizontally. So I'm gonna get this and sit it here. So I don't like how this is touching the chair, so I'm just gonna get these two and just bring them down a little bit. Still don't like how close that is to the chair. Maybe I can work about this size. I think this can work. Okay, I think that can work for sure. All right, so there's that. Maybe make this a little bit more narrow. All right, so I'm going to round these all as well. I'm gonna click on this one. I'm gonna do 5 pixels, round it all the way around. 5, so I'm good there. This one, I'll do 5 pixels as well. How does that look? I think those two look good. Okay, I might want to bring this one over slightly. It might need to be a little bit longer too, because I see I have a lot of like letters here, so let me just make this a bit longer, or wider I mean. Maybe even out to here. Okay, so I got that part there. Now let's go ahead and add my text. So I'm gonna get text box. Actually, let's get this text box up here. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna make sure it's white. So I can see I need to bring it in front of this teal box. So again, get that layer, drag it to the top. Still gotta keep dragging. There we go. So this one is here. I'm going to left align this one. So you're probably wondering how I got the bullet points. So let me show you. So I'm gonna leave my cursor like inside of here, but I want to bring it all the way over here to the left, so it's like flashing over here on the left side right there. Okay, so I'm going to show you a shortcut. So you can go online and type in something like bullet point, and then you can put copy and paste, and you can go here and you can get this one and literally just copy and paste it. If it'll load, there you go. So let's say you like this one, you can just click it one time. So now it's copied on your computer. So you can go over here back to Photoshop, and then you can go right here, hold down Control, then hit V to paste it, and now it's there. Okay, so there's that. But now what I like to do is, since I made this one line, I can kind of treat it as a template, and I'll hit copy, enter, then I'll hit paste, enter, paste, enter, paste. Okay, so now I got those 4. as like a template. So I'm going to just zoom out. I need to also have something made for the title right here. So this should say modeling fundamentals. I'm going to select all of that and make the color of this teal color. My text box doesn't really need to be that big at all. I could just make it a little bit less wide. Okay, so that looks pretty good there. If you want it to be a bit more bold, you can do that. I'm going to make mine bold. Didn't make a whole lot of difference. Black, I think that works. That's probably too much. Let me dial it back. Okay. Okay, so we got this one here. So now I can just go ahead and get all of this and line it the way I want to. I'm gonna make this slightly bigger, I think. Actually, it doesn't make any sense because you don't want this to be bigger than the title part. So I'll just put this pretty much in the center, about right there. If you want to increase the spacing, I would, because it kind of looks a little bit awkward. So you just want to go to this little AA thing and increase that number to increase the spacing between each line of text. Okay, so now you can see it looks like that. All right, so I think that looks good. Now what I'm going to do is select my text. I'm going to find the rectangle. I think it's right here. Okay, so I have my control button held down. So I have this text selected. I'm going to hit the rectangle. I'm going to hit this white rectangle. Then I'm going to also hit where it says modeling fundamentals. So you can let go of the keyboard. Now you can hold down Alt on the keyboard, and then you can click and drag this over to the right. If it's like kind of not going straight and stuff as you're dragging, hold down the Shift key and then let go, and then you'll see it's like all in the same line. I gotta drag this back over this way a little bit. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So about right here. Just trying to make sure they look about the same distance from the edges on each side. Okay, so now I can just type in everything I need to. So on this one, it says how to find best angles. The next one says building confidence. And in order to get these, I just had to like look up what kind of things you will learn in a modeling class, because I don't know. Building confidence. But if you're making these and you don't have a client or anything, just think of actual text you can put in here. I tell people not to use that lorem ipsum text, which is the Latin text I was telling you about, because listen, it looks a lot better when you use something that looks like real text. It impresses people a lot more, and it kind of makes them not ask you, or it kind of makes them think, oh, this is a real project, even though it might not be. So, you know, if you want to finesse, then yeah, you know, put actual text in there. And when someone's reading something or just kind of skimming through it, they can tell it's not English. So I put photo shot, photo shoot, styling to the photo shoot, personal branding. Y'all, we are almost done. I wonder if this is the very last thing we got to do. In case you guys don't know how to export these, I'll show you that in a minute as well. Agency networking. Okay. And listen, as a designer, you better be double checking your stuff for typos, because model portfolios. Okay. I gotta change this thing. I almost forgot about it, not gonna lie. Fashion and branding. Okay. I think this looks good. Now, when I had made this, the one thing I was thinking about adding was like a circle or something here, or just some text saying like, this is free for everyone with the One Music Fest VIP ticket. Or maybe I can put like a deposit fee or something like that. I don't know. But I don't know. I didn't really want to clutter it up, but that's pretty much everything, you guys. So that's how it looks. I want to say it looks exactly like my reference. Maybe like the sizing is a little bit off down here, but y'all get the idea. Okay. But that's pretty much how you do it, you guys. Let me hit save on that. Okay, now if you are ready to export this, in case you don't know how to export, you want to go up to File, hover on Export, then hit Export As. the best format you can export this in is go to format, then hit PNG, and you'll see this is the right size that we did everything in. And then you want to hit export. So when you hit export, you want to save it to wherever you want to save it to, and then you can just get that and then give it to your client, or you can post it on Instagram, email it to yourself, blah blah blah. Okay. So hopefully this was really helpful for you guys. I had a lot of fun doing this. But once you do all this stuff, you'll understand Photoshop a lot quicker. It's really just all repetitive stuff. It's just copy paste, change color, change size, change font, So that's really all it is. Okay? So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. My name is Shatara, and I'll see you the next one. Bye.